Hi there. This is the follow-on from our 3 introductory videos. The Indigenous Peoples Revolution Rising to Power, what for? To bring our vision to fruition for our children, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous. Remember what our vision statement says? It's to create a happy future for our children, for our children's children, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous. And our marketing arm is the Indigenous Peoples Learning Network, which will supersede all the Facebook and all today's social media platforms will be superseded by the personal learning networks driven by YouTubers and influencers, right? And with a shared purpose is how it works. And no rotten advertising on our websites or personal learning networks, because you really don't need it. Now, I talked about our sustainable cities in paradise, and they're wonderful. And tomorrow I'll do, in the morning, I'll do the 3 PowerPoint presentations. I'll put them into online, which we haven't done before. Check these out, you'll love them. But what I want to talk to you today is one thing to talk about the sustainable cities in paradise and how wonderful they will be, because corporate owned and operated, the most beautiful upmarket accommodation in paradise, where zero debt. So the precinct itself has no debt on it, it's debt free. So no one actually has to work to pay off any debt. How awesome is that? That means that you can live your life without all the pressures of getting up in the morning, you know, and rolling out of bed instead of rolling over, but rolling out of bed, having to go to work for a stink job, for a stink boss. Yeah, and a job that you don't like doing. And if you're a female, you're being sexual connotations pushed onto you and all these sort of things, and I think of all this racism and unfair treatment and low wage. So whereas in one of our sustainable cities in paradise, because it's debt free, there's no debt on the community and no debt to pay off, no one has to work. So you can enjoy life and then you can do what you like to do, right? Live a happy life. But the question is, are these precincts for anybody? See, could people think, I'm in? Wrong, you're not in, right? Because these precincts are only for decent, good-hearted people. If that's not you, turn this video off, right? If you have no intention of being decent and displaying a good heart, turn the video off. Don't even bother getting further. See, because we're screening processes to make sure that you don't get in. All right? I'm going to share those with you right here, right now, because those who do get in through our screening processes, right, they are going to be so happy. Because they won't have any debt. You see, because in these communities of ours, we have permaculture, organic gardening, aquaculture, animal husbandry. So we have sustainable food source. We don't need canned foods with all the chemicals in them. We don't need any food brought into our communities. The environment supports it. That's where your food came from anyway. All your tomatoes and your fruits, they came out of the tropical forest. So we're just growing them in the tropical forest where we're building these precincts. In the wilderness, paradise, islands of paradise throughout the Pacific, throughout the frontier and emerging markets. Well, if it's not on the islands with the monorails and compact communities, it's off the side of rivers in our client nations throughout Africa, right, and South America. So beautiful, pristine wilderness environments with 5, 10-story high buildings, upmarket, no poverty, zero emissions, zero waste. How about that, eh? And we also have zero crime. So these are the cities of the future to live in, right? And no one has any debt, no one has to use any money to pay off any bills. You don't have to pay for your electricity, your gas, your telephone, the internet. You don't have to pay for any of the digital technologies that will be using from virtual reality headsets. You know, $800 a piece, they're free for you. You know, the hologram, $4,500, they're free. They're there for you to use, provided by the corporation. So, and you have comfortable beds and beautiful furniture, right? You'll have a good life. But the most beautiful thing about it is the people. The people will all be decent, good-hearted people. Because we screen them out. There won't be any kind artists. There won't be liars. There won't be thieves. There won't be any bullies. They're not decent. And you see, in a precinct like this, all you need is a common culture based on decency and to be non-religious and non-political, because those two organisations divide a community, divide families. That's what happened in the United States. People don't talk to each other in their families because they're against Trump and some are for Trump. Crazy. You don't bring religion and politics into these corporate owned and operated precincts. You don't build mosques, you don't build churches. It's like us, mate. And you certainly don't let them come and preach in these communities. This is business. It's lifestyle. But we're not dictators. We don't say, well, you're not allowed to worship the God you worship. Yeah, you can worship it in your apartment. Put a headset on. Virtual reality. Right, augmented reality. You can go to your church online. You can go worship your God. Fine. Just don't go preaching around our communities. Right? Non-religious, non-political. There's a reason for this. You know, if you have religion linked to your community, your corporation, when the regime changes, the political regime changes, and they don't like your religion, they do what they did to Jehovah's Witnesses over in Russia. Shut down their headquarters, shut down all the hundreds of kingdom halls, billions of dollars worth of infrastructure. They lost. Right? And this is what happens if you have a religion, and the religions are right in there with politics. So you don't want anything to do with those two. So we're politically neutral, we're religiously neutral, we don't vote. You don't want to vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for. In the Western world, they're all crooks, they're all liars, they're all thieves. They're all ripping the system off. They're all looking after their rich mates. So you don't get involved in that. You stay, work smart. Don't get involved in that. Develop communities with only decent, good-hearted people in them. So we have my corporation, I'm handing it over to Fraser Tahoe. He's going to be running it. I'm moving out, resigning, and selling up a lot of my shares. And I'm going to work on our virtual reality music concerts for the Skip Live Aid benefit concerts for Africa for next year. So this is all virtual reality, so entertainment base with our clean, happy hip hop, music and dance, civilization for integration into our sustainable villages, sustainable cities, because that's what the young people want. And 80% of these communities will be Digigen. Digigen is short for digital generation, aged 6 to 16 today, born on or after the 1st of August 2003. Next year they'll be 17. Right, so this is the generation, 80% of the community will consist of them, and the other 20% are their siblings, parents, grandparents, and single individuals and married couples without children who qualify, who get through our Happy Training curriculum. The Happy Training curriculum, if they can't become happy people from our training, then no way we'll let them into our happy communities, because we are inviting any of the universities to come into our precincts and conduct a community happiness audit. That tells you whether you've got a sustainable community or not. Right? If they give you a good report that 90% of the people, 95% are happy, these are the best precincts to be living in the world. Even man, there's dogs who are queuing up to get in. Right? You won't get 100% because the 5% are old grandparents and whatnot. They're dying, so they can't be totally happy in a dying, painful state. Right? So, Digigen, when you come to our communities, you'll see children 6 to 16 all over the place, man, like when I was a child. From the baby boomer generation. About 80% of our communities were children and young people 6 to 16. It's awesome. So that's what we're going to see in our communities. If you have 80% baby boomers, they're rotten generation, horrible generation I was brought up in. Cantankerous old people, they'll be at the stage, in 20 years' time. Today they're aged 54 to 72, 20 years' time. How old are they going to be? 74 to 92. You got an old people's precinct, and they've all got heart problems, liver problems, hip problems, mate. It's going to cost you a fortune for healthcare. Where, if 80% are 6 to 16-year-olds, I mean, they haven't got sore joints, have they? They haven't got heart problems, liver problems. They don't need hip replacements. I had a heart operation in the last year. $650,000, mate. Well, you got a community full of baby boomer generation, you got all these operations you're doing. Not sustainable. So bring in the 16-year-olds, in 20 years' time, they're not aged 74 to 92. No. How old are they? 26. Right? The 16-year-olds are 26. And, the 6-year-olds are 26. The 16-year-olds are 36. They're still young. They can still play with their children like little children. They can still have fun. There's not much difference in age between them. Whereas you get a baby boomer, mate, that's great grandparents. Nothing wrong with them. If they're over 70 today, that's a lovely generation. I love the old people. But that rotten baby boomer generation is a horrible generation I was brought up with. You know, the less of them we have in our communities, the better it will be. But we'll let the ones in that are decent, good-hearted people. All right. So what I want to talk to you about is who is going to qualify to get into the Sustainable Cities in Paradise. It's not open to everybody, right? And like I say, if you're a scumbag, switch off this video, because you aren't going to get through our screening processes, right? And if you're a mean, nasty, cruel person, switch off the video. You're not going to get through. And I'm going to share with you why. Because those who get through our happy training curriculum, they're going to be very, very happy at the end of it, right? And there's a little bit of work involved in getting through the training curriculum. And you've got to ask the question, which people do we favour? Right? And which of the children, because we're focused on 6 to 16-year-olds, which of these children do you think we're really focused on? We're the Indigenous Peoples Learning Network. Is it the Indigenous one here? She's married. She's one of us. Is it these children here from well-to-do families, from different socio-economic groups and different cultures? Or is this one here? The one in the slum in India? Which one are we interested in? I'll tell you which one. It's this one. This one here. Why? You see, because we've got people saying, can we be involved with you? Can we come and live in your communities? Can we work for you? And I've said to all of them, do the happy training curriculum. If you get through, you're in. If you don't, bad luck. But see, this child from the slums, when you pull them out of the slums, out of the low-income areas, you find the ones, they're lonely in heart, broken in spirit, ashamed of where they lived, lonely, sad, depressed, no hope, no future. And we come along and we say, you are the ones we favour. Straight away, there he is, going to pick up. I'll have a listen to this fella, see what he has to say. Why do I say this? I say this because all the children, they will be the most loyal. And do I say that because I learned from a book? No, I say that from experience. You see, because I was brought up in the old Maori culture, beautiful culture, where we were taught to share, to give without any conditions, to be loving and kind, to come from underneath people, never to think that you're better than anybody else in the community. In fact, you think you're less than everybody else. When you live in a community where everybody thinks like that, it's a beautiful community because no one's got an ego. In our community that we lived in, there wasn't one young girl out of wedlock that had a baby. There were no solo mums. We had two-parent families, mum and dad, natural parents. We didn't have foster parents, foster families. We didn't have step families. We didn't have gang families, which is what we got in New Zealand big time. We didn't have grandparent families because the children had handed their children to the parents because they were on darn drugs or alcoholics. So they hand them to the grandparents. We didn't have grandparent families, it wasn't heard of. And we didn't have gay families, right? Because that's unnatural. We didn't have those. And see, we're not having those in our communities, right? So our objective is to train the 6 to 16-year-olds so that they don't become drug addicts, so that they don't get obsessed with all these addictions to cigarettes, gambling, gaming, pornography, alcohol and drugs. We've got to prevent them from going there. And you do that through our happy training curriculum. All right? So they're happy people when they come into our communities. So when you get through the happy training curriculum and you earn enough bonus points because you're helping others to improve their lives, to become better, decent people, to set goals and to attain them, and to track your progress. When you help your young peers to do that, and you got enough bonus points, we will give you a lifetime, cradle to grave, employment and habitation contract, living and working for one of our sister companies that are responsible for the rapid mass production of sustainable villages, sustainable cities. My corporation, right, we have a subsidiary called the Indigenous Peoples Learning Network, which is a learning network to train you in all the dynamics of sustainability, social, cultural, ecological and economic sustainability, and the 5 zeros of sustainability. 0 debt, 0 emissions, 0 poverty, 0 waste and 0 crime. And the only way you can get 0 crime is through learning our harmony in the community, which Fraser Toe will teach you, and then the link break technology, which I will teach you, and that is the #1 technology. We have 6 technologies to build sustainable nations and sustainable communities, sustainable villages, sustainable cities. There's 6 key technologies. One's the rapid building and construction technologies. The rest are social. 5 social sustainability concepts, technologies. That's the key to it. Nothing else. If you can't get social sustainability in your communities, in other words, for young ones, social sustainability is how we treat one another. With honour and respect, with integrity, honesty, loyalty, and knowing how to communicate with other people without being a nasty person, without being spiteful, without being cruel, without being pessimistic, cynical. You don't want those traits in our people. Without having an ego, to be haughty. You don't want those people in your community. They destroy it. They destroy it. It implodes from the inside. If they're cruel physically, if they're cruel mentally, you don't want them in your community. So we have all these screening processes to keep them out, not let them in the beginning, right? And that comes back to the training and development. And our Indigenous Peoples Learning Network has the exclusive global contract for the recruitment and training of every employee and inhabitant to live, work or play within a sustainable village or a sustainable city. So nobody gets in unless they get through our training and screening processes. Now we've had all these skeptics from different organisations that have looked at our training page. That's pyramid selling. Unbelievable. See, how can it be pyramid selling if our main target market are these ones here, right? And at the moment, the priority is on these ones here, which are Maoris. That's our priority. Everybody else will put in a queue. Because my brother died last year. And I promised my brother I will look after our children, right? Our relatives from on our dad's side, which is Tūhoe, Te Arawa, and on my mum's side, Ngāti Kahungunu, so I have an obligation to look after them first. And Fraser, his relatives are also on his dad's side, same as mine, Te Arawa, Tūhoe, on his mum's side, same as mine, Ngāti Kahungunu. So between us, we had the DNA, and I'll teach you this in the link break technology, how the DNA works, and the programming is already in our subconscious minds, that even our children that were raised here in Australia that have never been back to a Maori community, we can still bring that programming up on social sustainability. It's programmed into them already, and with the link break technology, we're able to bring that up, and then they change totally and behave in a socially sustainable way without the ego, without the horrible negative personality traits, which we didn't have. And it's a lot easier to build a community where you don't have any pregnant 15-year-olds or 13-year-old girls, right? You don't have any promiscuous, sexually active people who shouldn't be that way because they're not being married. And the solo parent families, step-parent families, foster families, they're unnatural families, right? Gay families are unnatural families. Gang families are unnatural families, right? And grandparent families, they're unnatural families, because that is not the children's biological mother, biological father. That's what you need. You need strong marriages. Strong marriages make strong families make strong communities sort out the politicians and get what they want. But we're not involved in politics, right? We don't want anything to do with them. So you see, we have the screening processes to stop the bad people getting in. I'm an engineer. Engineers do only two things. We systemise the technologies of an organisation to streamline everything, to make everything function well, to prevent things from going wrong, prevent crime, prevent waste, prevent poverty, prevent debt. These things we prevent from going wrong, prevent disharmony in the community. We prevent those things from going wrong by not letting the people in that are going to cause those trouble. Prevent it. Screening processes, profiling, helping our young people define their major goal in life, to do a 10-point plan to attain it, and to do what we call a fast track system, to look at the 9 different areas of their lives for the next 12 months, setting the goals, and we find out of those 9 different areas, there's 3 most important in those different areas. And those different areas can be anything from abundance to self-improvement to community, helping the community, others business, career, all these sort of different areas of life, health, nutrition, right? Creativity, that's a real good one. Be more creative in your singing and your dancing, might pertain to arts and crafts. Creativity, man, you need it. Creative in making music and freestyling or whatever. So this is what we do. And out of those 9 different areas, there's 3 most important ones, and out of there was 9 times 3 is 27 goals for the year. Out of those 27, there's 3 really, really important ones. Those are the ones to focus on. When you focus on those 3, it pulls the rest in or start working. But there's one goal that we're looking for. It is the obstacle, what we call the cupboard. We'll tell you about another time. The obstacle that's holding you back in all the other areas. We find that one, knock it out of the way, boom, all the others start to come to fruition and in alignment with your major goal in life, with your purpose for living. From there we can see where you tie in, what your passions are, the career that you want, the extra education that you're going to learn, or people, organisations you'll be involved with. You need digital technology. Our sponsors will pay for all that for you and the education. So that's all the VR headsets, hologram headsets, and augmented reality and all the high-end laptops that can now live stream virtual reality. So the reward for you to qualify through our Happy Training curriculum is a lifetime cradle to grave employment and habitation contract. Now, what does cradle to grave mean? Cradle to grave means that once you're in our community, you have a little baby, born, we pay for everything, right? The bassinet, all the clothes, everything you need. On our corporation, we'll pay for the lot. Cradle to grave, we're going to care for your little bubby. Right? And all their education, training, everything, we care for them until they turn into old people. You know, at 65, they get rid of you in corporations. 65? No way. Yeah, you're part of our organisation, you're part of our community. We're going to keep you there and keep you happy till the day you die. Cradle to grave. And we'll pay for your funeral. Okay? We'll pay for your funeral too. Everything. Flying new rallies, whatever, for your funeral. We'll cover those costs. So when you see what we're going to do in selling to the big tech companies, we'll build you a sustainable village, sustainable city. It costs you $100 billion up front now. Or get in the queue. The price is going to go up. So when we're talking to the oil majors, are going to be paying us even bigger money to get shares in the 6 world regional companies. So we don't have to worry about money to supply our children with a $10,000 technology package with all the laptop and and all the VR headsets and things, the best mobile phones, everything, Bose headsets, yeah, they get a lot. We'll pay for it. We'll be happy to do that. And you can do that. You see, so many of these older generations I have to deal with, they're horrible. They say this is pyramid selling. Where's pyramid come in? When these are my rallies, right? I'm not charging them. We pay for them. And that one there lived in the slum in India. She got no money to pay us, so how can you call us pyramid? This is what you're dealing with the horrible older generations. They come out with this rubbish, they made things up. How can we be pyramid selling when we're giving it for free if they can show us a healthcare card, a social security card, or a letter from the local principal or Minister of Parliament stating they're impoverished? Everything's free. Everything's free. The only way we're going to get them out of a slum is if it's for free. Alright? So, we'll put them through a Happy Training curriculum. If they follow what we teach them, they can become happy. When you've got a major goal, you know what it is, because you've done the 21-day goal setting we give you. And by the way, the failure rate for attaining that, for finishing that 21-day goal setting, the failure rate for people over the age of 16, you know what it is? 90%. 90 to 95% fail. And all you have to do is wake up in the morning, grab the first sheet that you've got, it says my major goal in life is, and write down the first thought comes to your mind. 15 to 30 seconds is all it takes. Once you've written it down, don't worry about it, stick it upon me, don't even look at it again. Next day, as soon as you wake up, first thing you do, 15, 30 seconds, write down my major goal in life is, first thought comes to your mind, write it down, stick it upon me, don't look at it again. All we're doing is training your subconscious mind to give us the major goal. But you see, it's not obedient. So you've got to train it that every day. You've slept on it all night. There's no ask the question in the morning. It comes up with it. So it comes up with this rubbish for the first 10 days. Just ignore it, think about me. We're just training it to give us the darn answer we want after 21 days. Day 17, guess what? You've got it. Day 10, it sorts its rubbish out and starts playing ball and actually working out what you're passionate, what you love to do, what will be good for you. It will give you purpose in life. This is what we're training you to do, but you've got to keep doing it every morning. First thing in the morning, first thought comes to your mind, write it down, stick it at the bottom of my head, don't look at it again, you don't need to. We're only training it to be obedient, give us the answer like a computer. It just gives us the answer. It's an easy piece of cake. Except this is far more advanced than any man-made computer. So around about day 17, it tells you what it is. And you are going to get so excited and you're going to say, that's me. That's me, man. I can do it. And you start to believe in you. Right? The next day, 18, 19, 20, 21, the next 4 days, it just refines it. Gets the word perfect. Once you got that major goal in life, we take you from what we call, that by the way, all that I've been talking about is all part of what we call the fast lane. Fast lane, all right? This is the fast lane where we provide people looking at us free quality content. It's all free. You watch all our videos for free. We don't charge you. And it's all digitised and automated. But we don't communicate with you because we actually don't want to. Right? So you work your way through the system, you visit our website, when we change up the content on it, you subscribe, whatever. But it's all free content. Watch it for free. It's not costing you anything except for time. If you can't be bothered doing it, don't worry about it. Turn off my video. So if you get through the fast lane, and in the fast lane, you will have seen our videos about the Sustainable Village, Sustainable City, and the quasi-independent organisation, or the multinational quasi-independent organisation corporate structure for business people. So, and in the videos, you've seen our vision to create a happy future for our children's children, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous. Then you will have seen the launch of our 3 videos that was yesterday on the 21st, Saturday 21st of September 2019, launched at 11 AM. So that's all good, and you have watched those 3 videos, and then they were about the Indigenous people's revolution, rise into power to bring our vision to fruition. And then you will be able to go to our website once it's up and running fully, and then you can subscribe, and we'll teach you more and more things about our sustainable villages, sustainable cities, our sustainable nation building industry, and you can see where you can get employment with us in the future. And we talk also about the nucleus. The nucleus is myself and Fraser Tahoe. So the first thing we're bringing in is those relatives of ours who have the same DNA. It's a lot easier to work with, to bring out of them the DNA on social sustainability, because it's already programmed. I'll explain this another time. You have to understand it. Just be aware, our first priority is our relatives. Then after the relatives, it's these ones. From around the world, living in the low income areas, those who are broken in spirit, suicidal, depressed, got no hope, right? Sad, lonely, right? Severe and significant mental health disorders. We can fix all those with the link break technology. You know, with link break technology, if you're paranoid schizophrenic, right, we fix that. ADHD, fix that. Permanent, right? All the mental disorders that people have today, depression, suicidal tendency, we fixed a lot through the link break technology. It's the world's #1 advanced technology. We're sitting on it. We're all secrets. I'll cover that in another program. So we can permanently eliminate all mental health stress disorders, permanent, and it takes a split second to actually do it. There's a fair bit of training involved in that though, and we don't provide that to people who are mean and nasty, who don't get through a happy training curriculum. So we will have a video about search for the champions under this Fastlane. So that's free. You can watch this one video, search for champions. Another one, fly with the eagles instead of walking around the barnyard with turkeys. You know? And then we have the happy training curriculum overview, and I've actually covered a fair bit of it today. And then we go into the dynamics of the major goal and why you do it, how it works with our subconscious programming, setting off the cybernetic goal setting mechanisms of the subconscious mind. Then would be a video on the link break technology, so that's really going to get you excited. You're blown away how it works. And then we invite people to do 21-day goal setting. Now, remember what I said the failure rate is? For anyone over the age of 16, failure rate is 95%, but for the DigiGen, it's about the opposite. I just love working with them. They're full of fun, they're full of energy, they don't have a damn attitude, and they're teachable. They don't challenge us. You know, in the time that it takes to do the fast track with the 9 different areas of life, it takes up to 3 hours to put a baby boomer generation through it. But I've never worked with a DigiGen that's taken anything over half an hour. That's all it takes with them. Because they just follow the instructions. They don't argue with us. They don't get the ego in the way and all the garbage, emotional garbage. They just say, do it. It's real simple. It's very, very quick. Just answer quickly. That's all they do. So we can work with 6 DigiGen and the time it takes 1 baby boomer. Figure it out. Who should we be working with? 6 children who appreciate what we do for them, or 1 baby boomer who says afterwards, and they all say this, boy, most of them, oh no, I did it on my own skills. No, I didn't need you. So I was. You know, not DigiGen. They know it was through our training programs that made them happy, made them better communicators, made them wise in their decisions and their goals that they set. They plan their future, 10-point plan for the major goal. Awesome. And they're wonderful, they're delightful. And then they say, oh, got us all hit. Clap on. No. And they're not a dialysis machine. Right? They're fit as, healthy as. And they're the ones we want to work with because they're teachable. But it's the one in the slum. I'm going to talk about the one in the slum in the next video. So, once you do the 21-day goal setting and you actually have your major goal, that's when we invite you into the middle lane. Middle lane, where we will now start to communicate with you, right? Because you've got the 21-day goal setting done, you've got your major goal, now we'll talk to you. And in the middle lane, you can subscribe to our website. If you're over 16, you can't. Sorry, it's for the DigiGen. So they can subscribe, only our relatives for the moment from Tūhoe and Te Arawa, and on the other side, Ngāti Kahungunu. If you're in those 3 Maori iwi, you can apply and subscribe if you're under the age of 16. If you're over the age of 16, you usually have to wait in a queue. So, and then what we do in the middle lane is, because you've got a major goal now, we'll do a webinar and we'll teach all of you at the same time how to do a 10-point plan, because we won't do it individually, it's easier in a webinar, and you can ask us questions as we go through and it'll give us percentages in an instant on what your responses are. And then we put you through the rest of the happy training curriculum, where you'll be doing the webinar for the 10-point plan, and then a webinar for the champion mindset. We'll teach you the difference between a champion, how a champion thinks, how a loser thinks. Right? And then we put you through the fast track. That's the one with the 9 different areas of life. We put you all through it all together at the same time, and you'll do it really, really fast. So we can do 1 million of you at the same time. We're not going to need that many for starters, because you start small, start smart. I mean, we're doing a revolution here. A revolution starts with one person, was me, brings in another one, which was Fraser, and then from Fraser we bring in all our rallies. This is the Maoris on the warpath. Yeah, so that's all we do. Bring in the rallies. So that's all good, because I'll teach you about the DNA, why it's really good for us to work with our own relatives, because we have the same DNA makeup. Right? Actually, I'll just tell you about it. Over in America, they brought out crumping. Check out crumping, man. This is dynamic, and the beautiful face paintings and stuff they do, and the way they dance, magnificent. Well, when they did the research on them with the DNA, and what happened was these young people picked it up just like that, and even they started doing their painting of the face, and they had no training in face painting, they had no training in the dance, they just watched one and they had it. Reason is, it was in their DNA. When they checked the DNA, they came from the African tribes that did that dance, right? Because that's where the most magnificent dancers came from, Africa. African people, when they hear music, man, they're like this. They want to dance, man. Say about us Marys, and you watch Marys in the bar, man, we're like this, listen to the music. Because we want to dance, you know? And dance is more important than music. We'll talk about that later. So, what happened with the crumping was they couldn't figure out how these young Africans had all the face paintings done beautifully, all the dancing in the streets and everything, just down pat piece of cake, whereas other people couldn't do it. Well, it was in their DNA. Programming and the DNA of the subconscious computer brought it up and away they went. That's what we were able to do, Fraser and I, from our two Maori tribes, Tūhoe and Te Arawa, and over on our mum's sides, our Ngāti all the dance and traditional dancing, all that is in our DNA. It's easy to bring it out. And even my daughters brought up here in Australia, right? Now one of them's, I talk about the community, the other one didn't. But those two still have, and their children, who are little young ones, still have our DNA, and they can still do our dances and everything else. They still have the programming of the social sustainability in their subconscious minds, right? It's their DNA. We'll teach you about another time. So, we're talking about the middle lane here. We'll put you through a 10-point plan, teach you about the champion mindset, the fast track, put you through find out your most important goals for the next 12 months in the 9 different areas of life. And then we'll also, our happy coaches, we'll look at, we'll allocate you a happy coach to work with you, to coach you on your way to your major goal. And the coach will feed back to our organisation saying, oh, this young person is only 6, but she's going to need a laptop, and she's going to need clothes, because you know, deep clothes to go to school, and she, summer clothes in winter, oh, no sweat, we'll pay for that, and an umbrella, right? And nice warm clothing, and make sure she got nice food and all the super nutrition, everything else, and dental care, really, really important. So, we'll pay for all that. Where do people get the idea we do pyramid selling? We're looking after our own, man. So, for the older ones, 12 to 16, we'll look at doing some assessments and profiling, ethics tests, where they play on the team, executive aptitude profiles, Fortune 500 profiling, traits analysis, and we'll look at the Harrison profile as well to find out the suitabilities to certain careers. And then the happy coach will give approval for them, and if they earn enough bonus points by teaching the happy training curriculum to their friends and relatives, doing the right thing, then what we will do is we'll bring them into what we call, right, we're communicating. In the fast lane we didn't communicate them, right? In the middle lane we communicated via webinars, and then we take them into what we call the slow lane. In the slow lane, see, this is a 3-lane economy. You go down the freeway, right? You're in the fast lane. Everything's motoring past, high speed, and then they come into the middle lane, a bit slower, a bit more controlled, less of them. Then they come into the slow lane to move off the freeway. They slow right down, and there's less in the slow lane pulling off than all the fast lane tearing apart. You don't want to communicate in the fast lane. Right, middle lane, use the webinars to communicate. Yeah, one instructor talking to 1 million people, whatever. Yeah, and then into the slow lane, you screen them out. You find out all the really good ones. You put them through all the necessary training, and you bring them into the slow lane. The slow lane is where we allocate them a happy coach to help them on their way to the goal. It's the friend that they can talk to when they're worried, stressed. But when the training programs we do with the children, we make sure the parent is there or a teacher from the primary school is there. We never deal with the children alone. That's wrong. We also don't teach religion or politics, and we don't teach anything offensive to the children or to the parents that we call the parents' concern, and we don't swear or use foul language. And we act in a very decent way of behaviour as role models of decency. So we, in the slow lane, we will invite them over. They can come over with their parents, if the parents go through the training program too, and or the teacher. We bring them through to Perth here, and to a conference, right? 2 or 3 week conference where we teach them about sustainability, how to build these buildings and things, about permaculture. We take them around different parts of Perth, look at passive solar design buildings, and looking at the aquaculture, permaculture, organic gardening, all these sort of things, animal husbandry. We'll take them through the wilderness and all these sort of things, and we'll teach and train them, give them an introduction to our University for Sustainability, and then we'll provide them with a technology package worth 6 to 10 grand in that technology package they can take home, and it'll have the virtual reality headset so we can communicate with them live online. Virtual reality, augmented reality and hologram technologies at 4.5 grand just for that one, the headset and stuff, and then the high-end laptop that you don't need gaming computers anymore. The high-end laptop can handle live streaming and virtual reality, so you won't have the glitches and all the problems that we have when live streaming. And then we make sure that you have high-speed internet, not this NBN rubbish. So we recommend the high-speed Wi-Fi with 100 upload, 100 download. So we'll sort those problems out later, and we'll pay for all that, the whole lot. Because in the slow lane, we've got the ones we want, right? They're the ones we can look after. And our sponsors from our sister companies that do the rapid mass production of the sustainable business, sustainable cities, they'll pay for everything, right? Our job is to recruit, train, refine those young ones who want to be employed at the age of 16, right? Because I'm going to talk about in the next video why employ at the age of 16. So we'll teach them at our University of Sustainability, and then we can teach them online once they've got all the technology package at their home. We've got to make sure that their home has got the right security in there, we've got all the insurance covered and everything else. And go from there. Also, we've got to train the happy coaches. The happy coaches need to earn a license to coach the DigiGen. They need police clearance. They need references from the community leaders to say that they have a good standing in the community. And they need to have completed all that profiling. And then we have the PLN 21, this personal lending network I'll talk about another time. And from there, we're able to generate an income for our children, even before they turn 16, and then we set up what we call a corporate structure for them, right, where we can minimise taxation and provide security of the assets and everything else. So that's all done by professionals. Will do that for us. So we're going to look after them once they get into the slow lane. So that's how it works, folks. If you want to live a happy life, you got to finish our happy training curriculum. As I say, our focus is on the children. Next video, I'm going to talk about why we employ at age 16 versus, and our focus is from under 16, not over 16. All right, so I've got to finish here, otherwise this video is too big.